Hello and welcome to the explanation video of the DDS intramural rule set. So in this video we'll be going over with filmed examples some of the various aspects of the rule set that we have laid out for the next intramural tournament. This is a priority rule set. So we have two separate types of priority. We have target priority and we have action priority. Target priority relates to the parts of the body that get hit. We have high value targets and we have low value targets. This target priority takes the ultimate priority, so irrespective of what actions were taken, the highest value target will win, and this will be explained later. This rule set also includes action priority. We have essentially 5 different actions that a fencer can perform. We have point in line, we have attack, counter-attack, parry riposte, and redouble or renewal. Again, we will have examples of these later on in the video with video and explanation to help you better understand. Remember that despite the fact that this is a priority rule set, a clean hit will always net a point. Lockout time. So, this rule set doesn't include afterblow timings. We don't have an afterblow window. That's not how this rule set works. It's not fully weighted, it's not reductive, it's not cancelling out. We have lockout time. Actions that are performed within lockout time will be taken into consideration with our priority system and our rule set. Actions that are performed outside of lockout time will not be taken into consideration. The general rule of lockout time is that after a fencer has been hit, their action must already be in progress in order for it to be considered within lockout time. So if a fencer needs to rechamber, if a fencer takes more than one step forward, or if there is a hesitation after the initial hit lands, that will be considered to be outside of lockout time. So we will start off with some valid scoring cuts and slices. So cuts should be made with good arc, should either have a bounce or they should effectively change velocity on the cut. So even if it's tippy, if there's a change in velocity, it's fine. Slices to the hands should be done with good pressure such that they move the hands of the opponent, as seen here. And then slices to the face or neck must be done with good positive pressure along the length of the blade. You can also do it with the back edge as well. Invalid cuts and slices. So invalid cuts will be anything that lands flat or doesn't have a sufficient arc to cut. Anything that's too tippy to effectively change the momentum of the sword, even if there's a sound, and then cuts made over the crossguard don't count as well. Thrusts, slices to the body don't count, and then slices that come off the back of a missed thrust also will not be counting. Grapples. So a grapple that disarms an opponent and effectively breaks the distance. Control with a strike, either with the edge of the blade or with a thrust, as seen here, will score. And then pommel strikes, so long as they are controlled and held for 2 seconds, will count. Invalid scoring grapples. So if there is no break of distance while the disarm happens, or you push your opponent out the ring, these are non-scoring actions. High value targets. High value targets come to the head and then all things above the armpit level. This includes arms. All two-handed thrusts to any target, including legs and hands, also count as high value. Low value target. So a low value target is any cut to anything under the armpit level. This includes leg and body. And then any one-handed cut to any target, head, body, arms, and any one-handed thrust, again, to any target. So any one-handed actions are low value. Examples of target priority. So here we see some high value targets from the left and some low value targets from the right. Going forward, all of the actions that have priority in these exchanges will come from the left, and all of the actions that don't have priority will come from the right. Point in line. So if an opponent has an established point with extended arms and you attack into it, that is given priority. You must displace the point or you must and draw out a counter-attack in order to gain points from that. So attack, counter-attack. Here what we'll be looking at is who commits to their attack first. There's commitment to the attack. If you're stepping back or stepping off to the side while you attack, that's probably going to be considered a counter-attack, even if it lands simultaneous and even if the values are the same. If the values are not the same, again, target priority takes ultimate priority. Parry, riposte, and redouble. So we see right is parrying and riposting, and left is redoubling, essentially reinitiating their attack. Parry and riposte will get priority. And here we see an attack that draws out a parry and a riposte, but the parry does not land, and so the attack gains priority. So, some clarification on redoubles. So a redouble is any time that someone's attack is stopped and then continued again. That can be done most clearly by retreating the point. There is also, if there is a pause in the middle, that is a redouble. So here we have an example of a failed attack followed up by a successful counter-attack, and then there is a redouble afterwards. Stoppages. So what are likely to incur stoppages is if a fencer falls to the ground or places their legs on the ground, if they are pushed out of the ring, if they are pushed over, this will incur a stoppage. If they move out the ring by being pressured, this, where the single knee is put down, is not going to be a stoppage, so you'll just be told to keep fencing. Simultaneous attacks. So the action priority rule set is great, but there will be occasions where two fencers just decide to act at the same time, and where target priority fails and action priority can't be determined. It will be ruled as either simultaneous or it will be unclear priority. The judge will rule as unclear priority, and the exchange will be discounted or thrown out. So some acknowledgements. We acknowledge that this rule set is a departure from the typical sort of afterblow rule set that's quite common in the UK. And so this is probably going to take a fair bit of getting used to from both the fencers and the judges. Now there's a lot in this rule set, but the sort of core principles to it are it's designed to reward fencing in a way that we at DDS value, not necessarily to recreate a deadly duel to the death with sharp swords. So some things to keep in mind: if you can hit cleanly, if you can react intelligently to a threat that your opponent presents you with, and you can recognize and react when you have created an opportunity to strike safely, you will be rewarded with points in this rule set. That is the hope. So we hope that you enjoy the intramural tournament. We will see you on the 21st, and happy fencing.